Hi guys, welcome to our second review session. Today we're going to be reviewing Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui. We have a panel here. All four of us will be reviewing it. We have very different views on the movie. Please join in with your comments and your questions and all of that as we did last time. It's going to be fun. So without any further ado, let me introduce my panel. So hi Sankalp, we have Sankalp Rastogi.
Hello.
Hi Sankalp, thoda sa your voice can I hear a little more?
Yeah, hi. Now?
Excellent,
Yes.
excellent. All good, all good. Yes. Sankar, tell us a little about yourself. You're a comedian and
Okay, I am a comedian and a voiceover artist, and I'm a writer as well. I'm a part-time writer. So I work on TV shows currently. I work on non-fiction reality shows, and I do the scripting part of it.
all right, that's nice. And here we have Mr. Parth Gadhvi. Hi, Parth.
Hey, hi,
I,
everyone. Uh,
Tell us about yourself, Parth.
I'm a comedian also. Okay, that was required. I also work with a OTT platform as a creative director, handling their web series. So
All right.
hearing and reading stories is part of my job. So lovely to review Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui. Perfect timing because it's World War III and
Yes, World War III has just started today. Okay, let me
yeah.
introduce our final panelist. Hi, Pooja.
Hi, hi.
wow.
Very clear voice. Yes, yes,
पूजा ने
amazing.
मेहंदी लगाई है चंडीगढ़ करे आशिकी
पूजा शादी से आई है ना, मैं उसकी स्टोरीज बहुत
पूजा
कीनली फॉलो करता हूँ.
हाँ
Okay, Pooja, tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm I'm a lawyer
Your
and
voice is just gone.
ये क्या हुआ?
I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. Yes.
Come, I think you started off with a bang. Now it's gone down.
I guess the panel just doesn't want me to take a different stance. And the universe is just conspiring against me. Okay. Is
Okay,
it
Go
better
ahead.
now? Yes?
yeah
It'll
much.
do. It'll do.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I'm a lawyer and I also kind of try to do comedy. And technology often fails me, as you can see.
All right. We already have some comments. Mr. R Tam is like one watching and it's only me. Hey, there are two watching. Okay.
and
Thanks, Art.
exactly the number of people in the theaters no actually it did
Ouch.
it actually did really well apparently sorry
यार
I mean,
बहुत पॉजिटिव रिव्यूज मिले हैं उसको काफी.
there
yeah
are only positive reviews. I've not found a single negative review on
Yeah,
the
I
movie.
think I was the only one जिसने इंटरनेट पे थोड़ा कुछ लिखा था फिल्म के बारे में मजाक में, and I felt like a fool because people loved the movie.
yeah
Okay. Let's start by Sankalp giving us a gist of what the movie was for people, for our Tam, and then we will figure.
Cool.
Bola
So this
Sankalp.
is no spoiler. ऐसा कोई spoiler तो है नहीं फिल्म में. अब सबको plot पता है because काफी time हो गया फिल्म को आए हुए. So Ayushman is a bodybuilder and he meets this Zumba instructor in this gym, and they both have a scene. And suddenly the girl decides to, after a round of dates and all, she decides to give out a secret about her. Ki I was born as a guy, and after a sex change operation, I became a girl. And this sort of creates a repulsion on Ayushman's part, and he avoids the girl for a long time. He has a conflict that how can I be in love with a guy. Basically, what he calls her in the film is a chakka. Okay, and his dilemma is that how can I be in love with this person, and then his family also is sort of with Ayushman that you're right and avoid this girl at all costs. But then he has a change of heart because he reads on the internet, he goes through a few articles, and he has a change of heart, and now he is in love with this girl and he accepts her. So yeah,
Okay, so that's the gist of the story. Now I'm
yes.
going to come to each one of y'all in turn and ask you what's your general opinion of the story, and then we go deeper. Okay.
Hmm.
Parth, bola.
I think just to add to Sankalp's introduction to the film it's also India's first zero waste film okay
Okay.
yeah
Okay,
it
what does that
is
mean?
that means the entire set sort of had this it got a Dada Saheb Phalke award for the same also where they upcycled all the material whatever was used while shooting and
Okay.
utilize it for. So it's mounted as India's zero waste film. You guys can check it out. Which
Not
also
really.
included, I think, scripts. They should have. No, no. I feel no. I feel it was a good attempt, but very typically Ayushmann film where a person has a problem, the family doesn't understand, and then they suddenly understand. So what I didn't understand in this particular film was how fast they understand
They
what
understand
Ayushmann
very
doesn't
fast.
understand.
Totally. How fast they understand.
Yeah, how fast. And there is one problem. So I really like the attempts that Ayushmann does, or whatever his film does for society in general. You
Hmm.
have a flaw. In fact, now he's out of diseases or quirks, so maybe we'll see some other films. But uh, he just picks up a flaw and then he tries to talk about it in a manner and in a simplified manner where the society accepts and says, okay, this is what it is. The only trouble is in this particular film, he there were a lot of attempts to do, like, we're not reviewing, right, but attempts to say that कि sex हो गया है, sex इतना normal है, तो इसीलिए कोई problem नहीं है. And then it goes on to the explanation of what he doesn't know. But overall, the theme about acceptance got diluted because there was no particular opposition, there was no particular detailing into what they face,
Okay.
the kind of discrimination they face. It's not that easy. It
Hmm.
was very light, it was touch and go. It's basically that the subject पे थोड़े से jokes मारने थे and वो चला गया. Also, the jokes were extremely rude.
Yeah.
So I thought
Wait, we'll come to that. Wait,
so
we'll come to
I
that.
yeah. So
Okay.
that's about it. And I know people are going to hate me. I lose
No,
5
no,
followers.
no. No,
I'm
no,
back to
no.
100 followers.
Chill. Okay, wait. We'll go deeper into the jokes and stuff in a bit.
Yeah.
Let me just get Pooja's opinion on the movie in general.
Okay, so this may be an oversimplification of the entire issue that is shown in the movie,
Hmm.
but I think the average Indian audience is still very new to these concepts.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Queer stories. It's not easy for them to even I don't think I am that sophisticated of an audience to have seen enough world entertainment and world content
Hmm.
to understand the nuances of queer stories. I need an oversimplified version to get the gist of it, to get a taste of it, and not
Agreed.
be jarred by it, right? I mean, again, when I say jarred, I don't mean like, oh my god, ye
No, no,
kaise
we
hoya?
get it.
No.
We get it. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a new concept altogether. And this is something when I was talking to my friend Priyam and we were discussing on similar lines, and I happened to say this line, I'm going to repeat it, that sometimes you need familiar faces to tell very unfamiliar stories,
Okay.
Hmm.
just so that it's more, palatable to the, again, average Indian audience.
Bang
So
on.
that
Bang
way,
on.
yes, I think that way I really enjoyed the movie. And as far as him going onto the internet and checking things and just convincing himself is concerned, यार हमें भी सर दर्द पैर दर्द होता है हम भी पहले इंटरनेट ही जाते हैं
इंटरनेट जाते
भले
हैं, दैट आई अग्री, बट इंटरनेट जाके हम उस सोल्यूशन से एकदम प्यार नहीं करते कि इंटरनेट ने
वो
बोला कि
तो
सर दर्द के लिए एस्पिरिन खानी है या डिस्प्रिन खानी है, एंड वी आर लाइक ओ यस डिस्प्रिन ही
Yes.
खाऊंगा मैं,
और
यू
और और इंटरनेट पहले 2 सर्च में तो कैंसर ही बताता है.
नो.
वो भी है ऑफ कोर्स वो तो पता ही है कि हमारी मौत ही होने वाली है यही लगता है इंटरनेट पे पर
हाँ,
लेकिन देखो उसने खुद ने बोला था कि
yeah.
सेक्स तो बड़ा
So
सही था
you
अब
need to
देखो वही आ गया
you
था
need to dig you need to
उसने
dig
चाहिए वही
deeper
था
into
अल्टीमेटली
internet.
ही जस्ट
Pooja.
वांटेड गिल्ट फ्री सेक्स
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she
Which is
nailed
the
it.
truth.
I
Which
I
is
don't
true.
object at all.
What I
Okay.
like about the movie primarily was the feel of Chandigarh. जो उन्होंने चंडीगढ़ के लड़के का वाइब पकड़ा है ना आयुष्मान का.
That
Yeah.
I agree with. I agree. Ayushman is playing Chandigarh the vibe very well. I won't
Because
ask this question
Chandigarh.
because I agree. But
Yeah.
I've not been to Chandigarh for about 4 years. I just want to know the culture has become that free there that you can kiss guys in public and wear like bralette tops and all.
I go to चंडीगढ़, ऐसी बात नहीं है, वैसे तो मेरा ससुराल चंडीगढ़ में है, तो मैं तो जाता रहता हूँ. मैंने इतना खुला माहौल तो नहीं देखा वहां पर. आई मीन, बट यस, द गाइज आर एब्सोल्युटली व्हाट आयुष्मान हैज बिकम. You know, the guys are exactly, it is replicated that look very well. That hair, even though it's hideous.
Oh, wait, the hair. Okay, the
Yeah.
that hair makes him look unfuckable. Okay, how? He's a good-looking guy.
पर
He's
वहाँ
got
के
a
जितने
body,
बिट्टू और
but
वहाँ के
that
जितने
hair.
बिट्टू ये सब है ना लड़के, वो सब ऐसे ही बाल रखते हैं.
हाँ,
या
सही बोल रहा है. Also I come from I told you when the film released, I think I was in Chandigarh, and the taxi guy, I came out of a shady pub, and the taxi guy said very एक चीज about Chandigarh which struck me was कि Chandigarh का youth बड़ा wild है, you know. So that's what he said. So, because I was also shocked with the amount of so there whatever the songs or these Punjabi videos, music videos have, you feel that अरे ये तो over exaggeration है, but that's not the fact. It is actually there. I saw a person parking a really expensive car और उसने ऐसे वो सेम चीजें की, तो आई अंडरस्टूड कि चंडीगढ़ तो बहुत अच्छे से रिप्रेजेंट हुआ है, पर जो रिप्रेजेंट करने आए थे वो रिप्रेजेंट हुआ है कि नहीं, दैट वाज द क्वेश्चन.
हाँ.
Okay. I'll just give you my view on the movie.
Yeah.
I saw it because you're reviewing it, but I wanted to switch it off after 2 minutes. Okay, because
But you know,
um,
I've seen all Ayushman films. All Ayushman films
Yeah.
have a template formula. They are absolutely template-ish. एक टेम्पलेट होगा, उसमें बस प्रॉब्लम चेंज होगी, सेटिंग एग्जैक्टली वही होगी. आई थिंक अ दम लगा के हईशा इज जस्ट इक्वल टू चंडीगढ़ करे आशिकी. देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम,
Yeah.
दोनों उसके ऑपोजिट एंड्स पे हैं, देन सडनली दे कम टू एन एमिकेबल सॉल्यूशन एंड द मूवी एंड्स. खत्म. तो इसमें यह है कि उसको बस ये एक्सेप्ट करना है कि वो लड़के से लड़की बन गई, एंड आई जस्ट हैव टू एक्सेप्ट दिस. तो वन डिलेमा सॉल्व्ड. दूसरा, ही हैज टू विन दैट कंपटीशन. फाइनल डिलेमा सॉल्व्ड एंड एवरीवन इज हैप्पी. लाइक डन, खत्म.
Yeah. But दम
my
लगा के आयशा is the closest very nice reference, because वो लास्ट में कुछ ऐसा लोकल सिटी लोकल कुछ कंपटीशन भी होता है, एंड आई
वही
थिंक दम
सेम
लगा के आयशा वाज वेरी, हाँ,
सेम थिंग.
सिर्फ उसमें ये था कि उसमें फैक्ट शेमिंग थी, यहाँ पे
हाँ, यहाँ पे जेंडर शेमिंग है.
जेंडर
gender
शेमिंग है,
shit.
पता नहीं क्या.
या
You know,
whatever.
I just want to ask one question to you guys.
Bolo.
When she finally actually tells Ayushman, ठीक है, the first thing that they clear out, like within the scenes next to them, is कि यार सेक्स तो बड़ा नॉर्मल था, सब कुछ बड़ा नॉर्मल था. So the fact that that has to be cleared first कि नहीं नहीं वो तो सेम ही है और उसको वो तो लड़की जैसी ही है, that just puts her into a very normal window, right? नहीं तो फिर नहीं तो फिर वो जेंडर एक्सेप्टेंस या प्रॉपर जो टॉपिक वो लोग ने रिप्रेजेंट किया था वो तो साइड में हट जाता है, बिकॉज इट्स ऑलमोस्ट स्टेटिंग दैट listen, you know what, she's done the operation and she's like just another girl, so
Yes.
it's not that bad. I think that was a
Yes.
very big
Yes.
problematic thing
Exactly.
with this.
Exactly. They made her. They wanted to gloss over the whole thing. That
Yes.
it's fine now.
Is it that normal to have? Is it that normal to have sex with somebody who has changed the gender? Like, I don't know. I just want to ask.
I did some research.
Okay.
Now, what I do like about the movie is they did actually show the animation of the operation, because it is something
Yeah.
which people are curious about. Then some flower appeared, which I never understood why that flower appeared there. Okay. I didn't understand how they could show penis but not vagina. I never got that part. Okay. So there are two ways of doing this. You can create a vagina. You can also create all the exterior part of it and not the vagina. There are two different operations which can be done.
Okay.
But in any case, I don't think it is as easy as they show in the movie. Like, you've done the
Precisely.
operation and everything is fine.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Pooja, you're very quiet. Do you want to check in?
Yes, you want to stir up things.
So I was observing and also just minding myself because there's a slight lag at my end
Okay.
Okay.
between the audio and the video.
Let's just
But
go.
yeah, so I think, yeah, I mean, they said कि हाँ operation हो गया और सब ठीक था, and maybe there was one or two references. You don't know how much pain I have gone through
Yeah.
because of this. But I mean, there are obviously other aspects to it, especially if you're going to that level of perfection. It
Hmm.
takes a lot of money. It was not a botched job.
Good
Yeah,
point.
it
Okay,
was
that
a, it
Point,
wasn't a
good
point.
point.
Yeah,
good
yeah,
point.
No,
yeah.
And now I'm going to go slightly legal.
Yeah.
That it has been now very recently included in insurance policies,
Okay.
your gender reconfirmation surgery. So that is again a fairly new concept even for the insurance industry.
Hmm.
तो
For
उससे
everything.
पहले बहुत you have to be really rich and
Yeah.
you should to be able to get it.
Hmm.
Not everybody is privileged or resourceful enough to be able to get that surgery done.
yeah, give us a ballpark. What kind of figures are we talking about?
I mean, I'm sure definitely in like above 50 lakh range for sure.
Definitely above. Definitely above.
मुझे नहीं लगता 50 लाख मैंने अब तक कमाया भी होगा लाइफ में. Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just take some comments. Uh,
आयुष्मान ने
Ayush,
मंथ में 2-3 ट्विटर स्पेस करके पूरा फिल्म ही बना दिया. ओके.
I think
Okay, one problem which I have, can we get down to the problems or
yes,
that part
yes.
is later?
Just one second. We just take a few comments and then because there are more comments coming. Okay.
Yeah,
Hriday
Then
Parivan
one monologue away. Oh wow, nice, absolutely.
Nice.
yeah, yeah. But
Spot
all
on.
his films are monologues. One monologue.
एक monologue and everybody has a
And
change of heart.
problem क्या है ये? You know, I have to
Yeah,
confess.
that
I have to confess. I wrote. I told Kajol that Bala. I am a part of this act where Bala में last में वो monologue बोलता है about
You've
accepting.
written a monologue for Ayushman Khurrana.
Yes, yes. So I have been credited in the film Bala as stand-up and mimicry portions, which is yeah. You guys can go watch it on Hotstar and
नहीं,
take
I
a
have
snap.
seen Bala, but of course credits मुझे याद नहीं है अब.
हाँ, तो उसमें मोनोलॉग में ऐसे ही बोला है कि एंड में एक जोक मारो और सबको बोलो कि अरे ये सब सही तो है, और उसमें मैंने सब कुछ किया है, एज शेमिंग की है. But the problem is the jokes. Like what sort of jokes also you
Okay,
are
I was coming
trying.
to it.
I think they just got stuck with the whole eunuch chakka issue. There were so many other things that could have been represented. There could
But
have
the
been so
film,
many other things which have जो अच्छे से बोली जा सकती थी. But
बिल्कुल.
they stuck to jokes that were very common, and then they just found justifications more than saying that it was more about a lovers fight, you know, where he says कि यार मेरे से गलती हो गई, गलती हो गई, गलती हो गई, and that's it. ना ही उसकी फैमिली से इतना बड़ा ऑपोजिशन आता है. You know the sisters are never going to be a problem because they are just like 2-3 jokes away from. हाँ, so everything got so nicely sorted. जबकि इनका सबसे बड़ा problem is the family. Forget the society. They get the family itself turns so violent और वो about it. So वो सब छुप गया यार यहाँ पे. That was the problem.
And I mean, फिल्म बस डायलॉग से ज्यादा जोक्स पे रिलाई करती है आगे बढ़ने के लिए. एक जोक,
हाँ.
दूसरा जोक, तीसरा खराब जोक, एंड सारे फर्स्ट थॉट्स. लाइक वो बोलता है कि लड़की का नाम जब वो मतलब वानी कपूर का नाम पहले मनु था एंड आयुष्मान नेम इज आल्सो मनु एंड द फ्रेंड्स क्रैक अ वेरी लेम जोक सेइंग तूने खुद की ले ली एंड आई एम लाइक
Yeah. I missed this. Ish.
या आई मीन ये मैं शायद थर्ड फोर्थ में होता ना और मुझे राइटिंग का काम दिया होता तो मैं ऐसा जोक लिखता. That basic a joke, not even a joke, in fact, it's just crass writing. It's very crass. बहुत बुरा है. Like even if a guy like me who's not really मुझे नहीं पता यार लड़के से लड़की बनते हैं तो सामने वाले से क्या पूछना या क्या नहीं पूछना. That idea is very alien to me even now. But it's not something I would say to anybody कि तूने खुद की ले ली. Like I mean, come on, you give an individual some respect.
Then also
They wanted a
it's
joke,
like
joke transformation.
it's also they set up her name just for this joke is what I feel.
Yeah,
The setup
yeah,
looks
yeah.
terrible.
possibly.
Which was also so lame, like Manu Manvi, whatever.
हाँ मनु मानवी एंड वो अगर मानवी है और उसके घर में वो लड़के से लड़की बनी है तो यू नो उसकी फैमिली कैसी होगी. पापा वुड बी सपोर्टिव, मम्मी वुड नॉट बी, और मम्मी वुड बी सपोर्टिव, पापा वुड नॉट बी. इट वाज एग्जैक्टली द सेम वे इन द फिल्म.
और
ठीक है.
होगा होगी जोक्स भी था ना कि ये होगा या होगी, ऐसा बीच में वो कुछ ऐसा अपने आप को करेक्ट करता है.
हाँ, so
Which was
all
like-
Ayushman has to, and he's called her a chakka to her face. ठीक है, he's called her a chakka, which is like an like a hardcore insult. और उस insult करने के बाद his retribution is your dad is in hospital, so I'll be with you the whole night. And she has to change of heart. And she has to change, हाँ ठीक है, तू मेरे बाप के लिए पूरे रात अस्पताल में रहा, तो अब मैं तुझसे प्यार करती हूँ, जा अपनी competition पे, मैं भी तेरे को cheer करने आऊंगी, and then we'll live happily together. Like what the fuck? I mean, things can't happen so easily. Once you call somebody a chakka to the face, that you are scarring the other person. Like somebody you love has called you chakka,
I get
and
it.
I mean, come on, it can't just go away just because you stayed with me the whole night in the hospital.
Pooja, bolo.
Fair. I have a slightly different perspective here. This
Hmm.
entire terminology of chakka
Hmm.
came from his those were twins जो उसके friends थे.
Wait, I have a question here. Are those
Yeah,
one person or two people? Is it one
Like two
person in
people.
double role?
They casted two people.
yeah, they're actually twins.
Oh, okay. Bolo.
Yeah, so the terminology, they were the ones who used it first. And Ayushman, although, I mean, he got angry and beat them up, not because they called her Chakki, but rather that he, implying that he had sex with a Chakka.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That
Yeah,
that was his anger, definitely.
yeah,
But when
yeah.
in the moment when he blurts it out while speaking to Vani, he has an instant regret. That was
Okay.
also there.
हाँ
So, I
So
ठीक
mean,
है.
of course, he shouldn't
I
have. It's not trope to use, definitely.
hmm.
But
fair.
the other way to look at it is to, that you shouldn't say it.
I
That's not
probably would
But
have
how you
but
liked.
you know the just one scene, like now we are, since we are mentioning scenes, there is one scene where he comes to Vani and वो गेट के बाहर वो लोग बात करते हैं बिल्डिंग के, just after whatever the thing has happened, और फिर एक पुलिस वाला आके रोकता है उसे और वो बोलता है अरे क्या कर रहे हो, लड़ाई हो रही है, ऐसे लाइक कुछ नहीं. uh, and I think there is this moment where they say कि मैं लड़की नहीं हूँ लड़का हूँ, whatever something
She
which
says
is like,
something.
मैंने
हाँ
इनका
और
फायदा
वो भगा,
उठाया है.
हाँ मैंने उसका फायदा उठाया, and it's like कि
हाँ.
क्या, हाँ, and then they just look at it as a joke and then it's gone. Nobody justifies that moment, which was not needed, I think, purely to the fact that they are only looking at things to justify. You know, it is never about representation or calling out the representation. It's more about कि नहीं नहीं ये सब normal है क्योंकि लड़की normal है. It
Yes.
never goes to the fact that what is actually the, it's fine to date which comes back to a very bigger debate, which I think one question which I everybody has asked in most of the reviews also, that why was the role not Bani Kapoor's role given to an actual trans woman, which has happened in Bala also, that why was a dark woman was not chosen,
Sometimes I
why
do.
was a fat, which I think you guys should, we should
But
speak
see,
about, because everybody
I do
says the
support
same
this
thing.
argument. कई बार मुझे भी लगता है कि यार काले के रोल के लिए आपने भूमि पेडनेकर को काला क्यों कर दिया? Like you could have actually picked somebody who has a darker skin tone. ठीक है, skin tone. मगर मेरे को ये लगता है कि that's what actors are for ना. Actors का काम ही यही है कि जो नहीं है वो represent करना. So if I
हाँ
have a vision wherein I feel Nasiruddin Shah can be a cripple, then definitely I will hire Nasiruddin Shah to play a cripple. इसका मतलब मैं उसकी टांग थोड़ी तोड़ दूंगा. मतलब मतलब it's Nasiruddin Shah. I want him to play a cripple. He plays cripple because I
I
know
get
he'll
it. It's a good
get
point.
good.
It's a good point. See, you do need names to carry a movie also. As much as we
Exactly.
true
don't like saying it.
true
Just like how you
Uh,
need a lame script to make it a hit. Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui, you know?
Now, I have a question about this movie.
Yeah.
What do we know about Ayushmann Khurrana except for the fact that he lifts weights? Like, have they tried to flesh out his character in any which way more than that? I don't know what his education is. I don't know what he likes beyond lifting weights. I don't know how much he earns. Why the fuck is he in some contest? What is going to happen in that contest? Like, what is going to happen? Ha, Pooja.
Pooja.
So, there was this storyline where his mother passed away when he was really young,
Ha.
and that out of depression he ate, he became overweight, he was bullied in school,
Okay. This I've
and
heard.
that is why he turned to physical activity and weightlifting because he didn't want to be bullied ever again.
That is okay. But the fact is that this entire thing about acceptance is coming from a man. Do we want to be accepted by this man? I'm just saying anyone in the world. Is he worthy of that sort of
Attention.
respect that we put on him? Yeah.
वो तो then larger question of just I'm not getting there.
But
I'll
I'll
come
say
off as a
something.
male
But I'll
basher.
say something. अगर लड़की वानी कपूर है तो मुझे नहीं जानना वो पहले क्या थी. Like I give a damn.
I actually liked Vani. I actually liked her. Okay, I
Oh, she was
found
very
her.
good. She was fabulous in the film. I think she
Yeah.
was watching. Yeah.
And you know, her casting is also apt because post her surgery, I mean, I don't know how many of you have seen Shuddh Desi Romance.
Yeah. I've seen.
So शुद्ध देसी रोमांस में वो जो थी डेफिनेटली अब तो वो है नहीं. ठीक है, वो बेफिक्रे में जो उसका एक बॉच्ड अप फेस जॉब था या जो भी था, जैसा भी था, आई डोंट नो इफ इट्स अ फेस जॉब और व्हाट, but she claims that she had a lot of weight loss, which is like, I mean, I don't know, I don't believe it, but she had a very different face in Befikre to compared to what she was in Shuddh Desi Romance. And now of course that face has been also a little normalized, like she doesn't have that Befikre face, she has a very glamorous and a very different face. So मेरा पॉइंट क्या था, शिट मैं पॉइंट ही भूल गया.
We were talking
But
about
don't
how
you
good
think?
Vani was.
Don't
And
you
you were
think
like
they?
casting.
एक मिनट क्या,
But
सॉरी
ये भी एक point है.
But-
ये भी एक
but-
point है
but-
that
but-
they projected the hotness of Vani Kapoor so much that they wanted to normalize the fact that, "Arey, look, she's so hot.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
gone
Yes.
there, done the
You know,
surgery. Like, why would you leave such a hot woman?
why
Because
would
now
you leave
she's a
such a hot
woman."
chick? Spot on.
हाँ. So it was never about the fact that what was she earlier. वो तो तुम भूल ही जाओ, because अभी it's a
Not
matter
what
of
she
past,
looks like
because
now.
what she is in the present, she is like so hot. वैसे.
हाँ, like
And
उसको
especially
accept किया तो तुम्हें क्या प्रॉब्लम है, तुम क्यों नहीं उसको एक्सेप्ट करोगे?
And
yes.
Sankalp, you were saying the casting was apt, why?
हाँ, casting was apt because she has that a little bit of manliness on her face, you know, her face carries that. Like Kubra Seth was cast in Sacred Games because she
That
has
was so good.
Kubra Seth was spot on, but again she was cast only because her face has that, you know, look of a
Got it.
man, halka sa. So that's why that
Okay.
casting was perfect. Sacred Games mein. And Vani Kapoor carries that same look or carries that same touch on her face, and that's why she was cast. So casting was perfect, I feel. And Vani Kapoor, it was a brave choice on Vani Kapoor's
Yes.
part. Very brave because
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
No,
that
one
was
second,
good.
one second. I'm going to disagree with you on this because, as you
Okay.
said, all she's done in the movies look hot. Okay, while Kubra Seth in Sacred Games
Has
actually
acted.
played
Yeah.
sex scenes
Yeah.
as a transgender, which is very
Yeah.
difficult to do.
I agree.
Yeah. And very nuanced coming
Brilliant.
out also. I
Very
think it was
brilliant.
the entire scene was handled really in a
Even
nuanced way.
they shown her using the male toilet, and I mean, Kubra Seth
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
rocking it.
Yeah.
But you know, even in Sacred Games, I don't know if I'm digressing from the topic. Even in Sacred Games, you know how he gets to know that he's a guy or she's a guy. वो उसको बहुत बाद में पता चलता है because they never have vaginal sex. You know, they always have anal sex.
No, but one second, he knows she's a trans. I mean,
No, he gets to know about it
Finds
later.
out much later.
Find out much later.
no. If
Much
I'm not mistaken, she has a penis in
Yeah,
Sacred
that's what
Games.
they've shown in the film. But she discloses this fact much later in the film.
Sankalp,
Ganesh-
I'm going to disagree with you here, but if you're doing someone in the ass, at least you know what is in the front. I mean,
But that's what he's saying. He's right. They
कैसे नहीं
never showed. Yeah.
they never showed
But
to
that's-
us, but
This is
I'm
this stream is streaming
the
in a
film-
different
in the
direction.
So what happens in the film is Nawazuddin and Kubra Seth always have anal sex. Okay.
Yeah.
And one day he presses on the fact that, okay, what's there in the front? I really want to see because you never show it. Okay, that's
no,
how
Baba. Sankalp, when
That's
you
very
undress
accept.
someone,
I
you
think
just
Arun Kaushik says
he
in Secret
knows.
Games, he always, no, yaar, arey, watch the
No,
series
he
again.
doesn't know.
Of
Yeah.
course he knows.
Revelation
He
scene.
doesn't. Trust me, he doesn't.
He doesn't
How
know.
can you not
There is
know?
an entire there is an entire
Because
scene
she
where
never
he
removed her clothes properly.
Yeah, she
Exactly.
reveals.
She never removed her clothes. She does that much later. She exposes her frontals
Which
much
is a
later. in
flaw.
the
Which is a
story.
flaw. Sankalp is right. There is an entire scene where where she explains this is why I was not doing this, and she shows
No,
the
she's just venting her anger at that point.
No. That's why she realizes and said, "I'll accept it."
See, that's how she starts. She says, "क्या देखेगा तू आगे? क्या देखेगा? ये ले, ये है आगे."
She's just venting her anger. Of course he knows, Baba.
Okay,
No, that's what was the flaw.
Trust me. Okay,
See,
next
why
time we are reviewing Sacred Games
Moving
only
on.
for
I think we should play the scene.
Yeah, Tarun. Yeah.
Arun Kaushik disagree with Sankalp. I
नहीं पता था उसको. It was an entire moment.
That's the whole thing.
See,
Saurabh Gadhvi, thank you.
no, just listen. 1 second.
with
Wait,
no
there are more
pun intended, I have
He
your back,
figures out in
Sankalp.
the. Shut up. Okay, listen. Wait.
Okay, are we releasing now?
Tarun
Just
Kaushik
one
is
second.
Debating justice
I
for
wish-
Sankalp.
Justice for
I
Sankalp.
think, yeah.
Arey, but I swear,
Kubra front, yeah, back.
Okay,
it was not
listen.
an angry reaction by Kubra Seth. It was
Yeah. It was a
Listen,
coming out
just listen.
reaction. It was a coming out reaction.
Okay,
Right,
it
you're
was
right.
coming out reaction.
We're
Yes.
not. Just shut
Chandigarh
up.
चले Chandigarh.
Okay, but
Just
guys, all of you.
How
who
is it
listen,
possible?
have to
How
watch
is it
Sacred
possible?
I'm going to
How is
after this stream. I'm going to go watch that scene because I clearly
We will
remember
go
this is what happened.
We will go watch it. But the thing
Yes.
is, how can you not know, dude? How
That's
Precisely.
what. That's what
I
he's
can
asking.
explain now.
That's how they brought out this. He didn't know.
Both
See, that's what I'm saying. He didn't know, and that was the scene where she actually comes out because वो पूछता है
Yeah.
कि हम frontal sex क्यों नहीं करते हैं? Why are we always relying on anal sex?
Exactly.
He
And
did
he
not
wants.
say that.
Yeah.
वो बोलता है ना मुझे देखना है आगे क्या है,
बोलता
मुझे देखना है आगे क्या है.
वो उसे
This is
मना भी
different.
करती. In fact,
The scene.
there are scenes where he wants to have frontal sex, but she denies.
Nobody can beat me here on dialogues. My film memory is fucking brilliant. Okay.
Justice for Sankalp.
And
One second. The only sensible person is talking. There is also a scene in Sacred Games where someone says having sex with a transgender is considered lucky. Listen, I don't know how you all have sex with people, but generally people remove both sides of their clothes. Listen, just no. This is
That's what happens.
Fair.
They never.
But that's what happens in the series.
They always.
In
They
the
always
series,
do it
they
from
show
behind.
the act how he never finds out, how she never reveals. Like the shots are also, it's always, I'm sorry for this language, but she's bent over and from behind.
those
Yes,
are
yeah.
for us.
And she
It's
denies.
her in the
He
room.
wants to have sex with her in frontal sex, and she denies. There is a clear
Bhunesh,
scene of she
Bhunesh.
denying.
Most of the time
Okay.
he's drunk. Yes.
That also.
How
Most of the
drunk?
time he's
How
drunk. Oh God, how drunk can you be?
Okay,
Oh
trust
my
me.
God.
Trust me. Should we review Sacred Games next?
we should review Sacred Games because I love that series.
Yeah,
कुकू की
okay.
जादू वही तो है
Kuku ka
वही
जादू
है
वही
Of
तो
course,
है.
we know
Okay.
that, but
Kuku joke.
Okay.
also someone said which OTT तो उल्लू भी है. I cannot.
Where's
It's
this?
definitely not उल्लू. Someone केवल OTT बोले से काम नहीं चलेगा. उल्लू ऐप भी OTT है. So
Okay.
I cannot tell you
This
which
for
OTT
Sankalp.
है.
This was after the men's bathroom
Go
scene.
find out.
There's also a scene in most of the time. I agree with Sankalp. Nawaz only sees a hole and just puts in there.
I was trying not to. I was trying not
Where
to
the
highlight
fuck
that
is this
statement,
going?
Sankar. There's a reason I did not highlight it.
Apart from Tarun Kaushik, trust me. Apart from Tarun Kaushik, everyone agrees with me. Thank you so much.
Because none of
Justice
you all
for
have had
Sankalp.
sex in the last 10 years. I don't know what
Oh
the problem
come
is.
on,
But
Kajol. You
generally,
have to
people
watch
remove
this.
their clothes.
Now that's a no.
We are talking about watching a series, not having
Let's
sex.
let's talk about Kubra
We all
and
forgot
not
it.
get into our
Okay.
fucked up lives.
Okay, we're coming back to. We're going to review this scene again next time, okay? This scene
Okay.
of Sacred Games. Because
Guys, please
this
be
was
there. Next
proved-
time we are going to review Sacred Games. Please be there.
Okay, we're coming back to Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui.
Yeah.
Alright? Okay, now please explain what a great point of that that contest was. What is he going to gain from it?
We never show. They never show why is winning that competition very special to him. Has he had a
Yeah.
setback in life, which or does he have self-esteem issues which will get solved through that weightlifting competition? ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. He's just on his track to win this competition. In the middle, he meets this girl. Now he has to support this girl and win the competition, and the movie should end. Okay, so that's like how simplified the movie is. You know, just because I mean, इतना सिंपल नहीं बना सकते आप चीजों को जिसमें कि आपने बस एक ये प्रॉब्लम दिखाई एंड उसके बाद कुछ जोक्स मारे एंड उसके बाद एक मोनोलॉग आ गया जिसमें कि वो उसको बोलता है मैं तुम्हें सपोर्ट करता हूँ एंड आई अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग एंड द मूवी एंड्स बिकॉज आई थिंक उन्होंने बहुत ज्यादा मासेस को केटर करने के लिए फिल्म बनाई थी. दिस प्रॉब्लम वाज जस्ट अ सॉर्ट ऑफ अ फसाड दे पुट अप.
Okay.
ए पूजा कहाँ चली गई?
She'll come. Maybe a connection ka problem.
Gone to watch the scene.
Sacred Games देखने गई है
I
वो.
can't believe. Okay, let's
Oh,
not
there
go
is
to
a.
Sacred
Oh, by
Games.
the way, I googled. There is a actual thread on Quora talking about the same thing that Sankalp is talking. We should do a stream on this.
We're
How
going to
to
do a
cook.
stream on it because
Okay.
I need to tell you all how wrong you are. Okay.
No, no,
Uh,
no.
I
They're
can't
saying.
be wrong.
In
I
fact,
can't be
Sankalp.
wrong.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
not.
I
This is
with
not
Sankalp.
Sacred Games. We will do that next time. Okay, Pooja's back. Okay. Now, yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
Pooja.
Pooja,
मुझे घर आना ही नहीं.
थोड़ा सा वॉल्यूम.
Hi. Sorry, what did I
Hi.
miss?
You missed. They're still going on about that scene from Sacred Games. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a
No,
Pandora's
no, no, no.
box.
Let's talk about Chandigarh. Sorry, Pooja.
Chandigarh.
Go ahead.
Chandigarh. Okay. Now, when he has to show his sister and his dad that he's into this, I mean, he's going to go after her and all. He lifts up the car. I never understood why. Like, it looked violent to me.
Sorry, I started reading the comments. Could you repeat? I was just seeing कितना support मिल रहा है मुझको.
Oh God.
This is a comment. Okay, chal Sankal. Please read it out loud for us.
Please mention the next movie review. I'll focus on sex scenes for my POV in comments. From intimacy coordinator to cuckoo. Okay, yeah. Getting back to what Kajol was saying. So sorry.
Okay. What was I saying? Why does he lift up the car? Okay, I found it very violent. His family's in the car. He's lifting up the car. Okay. I don't know. Is that a great character?
I think it's just a gimmick. He was made. He was almost. There was this snapshot. I don't know if it is true or not. From they said why they've based this film in a gym, sort of a setup, and the comment was, I don't know if I could have read it as it is, was about how the testosterone levels go up and down even during the that was the whole
Okay, I'll
argument.
compare. Yeah, you're right that that car lifting scene. How is that helping a character or anything? Probably he's a flawed character, but then that flaw doesn't really bring anything to the table.
No, it
For
doesn't.
example, for example, Kabir Singh. Okay, Kabir Singh is a pretty flawed character. It works. It pretty much works because he is an extreme.
Okay.
And people love an extreme. Now, problem with Manu Ayushman is that he's not an extreme. He's just there somewhere in the middle.
He's mediocre.
He's mediocre, exactly. Now you had to give that character something completely negative, something dark, to actually bring out an extremity out from that character. Like Kabir Singh इसीलिए अच्छी लगती है लोगों को क्योंकि कबीर सिंह में वो बिल्कुल ही flawed है and he owns it. He's like हाँ मैं ऐसा ही हूँ. It's the story of a flawed character. वो उसी POV से बनाई है कि ये आदमी अच्छा नहीं है और मैं सच्चे आदमी की लव स्टोरी दिखा रहा हूँ. अब आपको पसंद आती है नहीं पसंद आती है वो आपका प्रॉब्लम है. I think I made my peace with Kabir Singh much later than I realized when the director said that okay so what, can't flawed characters be celebrated or be made into a film? I mean, which is great. I mean, it's a perspective कि एक flawed character के बारे में भी फिल्म बना सकते हैं. For example, people love Joker from Dark Knight.
Yeah.
In fact, most of the characters in most of the series are, if you see that Ted Kaczynski, Una Bomber, most of these leads are in the Western series where you see they are flawed, they are incomplete, they're not perfect. In this case, I feel the major point of the movie was the conflict. You have to take the conflict seriously, where you feel that okay, it's not going to happen, but it happens. In the end, the culmination is the gratification ki arey accept ho gaye. In this case, the conflict was never. The conflict was just placed ki theek hai, Ayushman doesn't know that he's dating a trans woman, and then uske baad family as a conflict doesn't arise. They are just left as 5 people who crack one line of jokes, and that's it. And then there is Ayushman. It's more about Ayushman getting to know himself, that trying to come with the fact that okay, I'm fine with dating a trans woman, and that's it. There's no conflict. So as soon as there is no,
and the
so
system
that is what I think is a difference between what happened in other Ayushman movies, where you clearly see okay, there might be an opposition, or this is why he was not, people are not getting it. Maybe also I haven't seen Badai Do, but
okay, I'm so sorry. What the movie actually needed was a polarizingly different character.
Yeah.
You know, कुछ ऐसा जो चीजों को बदल दे फिल्म के अंदर. What happens in the film is everybody is on the same page, more or less. Like there is Ayushman, who's in dilemma. The others are simply, telling him to side away from this girl or part ways from this girl. Slowly, he realizes, he comes to this conclusion that, okay, maybe I can love this girl. And the film ends and everybody is on his side now.
Yeah.
Nobody has a polarizingly
There's
different
no
perspective.
opposition. Yeah.
Pooja,
And
Pooja बोलो.
So,
Okay, there is a comment. Can we read this?
Yeah,
Pooja
read
was
it,
saying
please, Sankalp, since you're.
Who lifts the car because it was his way of venting anger. Some people do such a thing like clutching their fists, clenching teeth, etc. Yeah, which
But
is
it
fine.
doesn't go through anxiety.
I agree
It's
with
never
it.
revealed.
I agree with it, and I want to add to that theory.
बोलो.
उसका अगले दिन कंपटीशन था और उसकी प्रैक्टिस नहीं हुई थी.
आई Pooja.
Yeah,
और
Come
उसको check
on,
करना था उसको
Pooja.
खाएगा नहीं. And he had to really vent it out. So he just went for it.
but then वो मूवी में कुछ हिट नहीं करता. सच बताऊं, मूवी यहाँ नहीं लगती.
Yeah.
मूवी
No.
वही होती है दिल पे लगे.
Acha, okay. Did you all find that the first sex scene after that holy party, is very abrupt? I was not expecting it. They barely know each other, and then he just drags her hand and leads her to the bedroom. I was like, yeah.
I'm
I
fine
think
with
they were
that.
just choreographing the song.
My problem is the girl saying, okay, maybe मैं इसको बाद में बता देती हूँ कि मैं पहले लड़का थी. And yeah, I mean, if it's a big deal for you, you should have. I think before the first encounter, you should have told him, है ना, कि ऐसा ही है.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
नहीं
was a
वो
guy.
That's
रोकती है
not so
उसको.
easy to
वो
do.
बोलती
That's
है.
not.
There is a scene
That's
where
not
she
true.
says, हम ऐसे नहीं है, whatever, and then she goes with the flow. Because I think, chalo, I feel that is one thing where you can take cinematic liberty, where you feel that okay, they are in the moment, and she also is sort of falling for this guy, so they do
Okay.
it. That's
Okay,
fine.
fine.
But afterwards, after what when she says and what happens is the problem. Like you said, the main character of, if the entire movie was based on Ayushman's character and coming of age of an Ayushman character learning rather than a trans woman, so they should have made Ayushman character that polarizing, where he is.
It actually shows Ayushman's character a great guy because he's accepting of this girl.
Yeah.
You don't feel sympathy for the girl any time. At any point of time, do you feel sympathy for Vani Kapoor?
No, I felt sympathy for Vamini Kapoor.
I don't know.
He played a very vulnerable character.
Played a vulnerable character, yes, but I think the movie really focuses on Ayushman's dilemma, not about Vani
Yeah.
Kapoor's.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's all about
yeah,
his
yeah.
accepting her.
It's about his
Yes,
acceptance.
yes.
It's
It's
about
not
how
about what she goes through with 3 lines, which Pooja also mentioned. कि सिर्फ 3 लाइन की, तुम्हें नहीं पता कितना दर्द होता है, तुम्हें ये नहीं, whatever, and मुझे छक्का बोला जाता है, जिसमें उसमें वो सिर्फ mostly she cries and she goes with the whatever the friend. So उसकी the pictures after second half should have been more from Vani's POV than Ayushman's POV, because Ayushman POV never had any opposition. Vani's POV still had so many constraints.
so many
The mom was not accepting. Now the boyfriend has lost. You can
Yeah,
at
somebody
least
she
connect with
genuinely
the fact
loved.
that
Somebody she genuinely loved. वो उसकी लाइफ से चला गया. उसकी
yeah,
माँ
yeah,
को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करती, लेकिन आपको उस चीजों के लिए कोई अफसोस ही नहीं होता बिकॉज आप सारा टाइम यही फोकस करते हो, अच्छा आयुष्मान के घर वाले अब क्या बोलेंगे, आयुष्मान लड़की को एक्सेप्ट करेगा कि नहीं करेगा. सारा टाइम आप आयुष्मान को ही बड़ा बना के चलते हैं
और
क्योंकि
ये
फिल्म
बोला भी नहीं है कि प्यार है उसको. संकल्प ये कहीं पे बोला भी नहीं है आयुष्मान की तरफ से कि उसको कितना, फ्रॉम वानी साइड इट्स अ हर्ट, इट्स लव, व्हाटएवर. फ्रॉम आयुष्मान साइड इट जस्ट बिकम्स कि अरे मैंने तो सेक्स किया था, बड़ा नॉर्मल था, ही वाज मोर जस्टिफाइंग. अरे वहां पे सबसे पहला सीन ही वो है ना कि नीचे क्या था, अरे नीचे वो ही था, व्हाट द फक. मतलब that's not how you explore. That's not how you explore.
It's a very guy's POV. This entire movie.
Yes.
I think had the movie ended on a note where both of them are actually friendly and sort of try to come to terms with the dilemma they share, that would have been more realistic than actually everything becoming normal in the end. सब कुछ इतना नॉर्मल नहीं हो सकता एकदम से ही. इससे अच्छा तो ये दिखा देते कि आयुष्मान बोलता है यार आई एम सो सॉरी आई कॉल्ड यू अ छक्का, आई रियली वांटेड एन अपॉलॉजी फॉर दैट. अगर कोई छक्का बोलेगा आई कैन नेवर फॉरगिव दैट पर्सन. मेरे लिए, मैं आयुष्मान को फिल्म में कभी माफ ही नहीं कर पाया, उसने उस लड़की को मुंह पे ये बोल दिया. आई मीन दो दोस्तों में बोलना और बात होती है, किसी बंदे के मुंह पे इतने टची टॉपिक पे आपने ये बोल दिया और उसके बाद आप यू आर गोइंग अबाउट लाइफ सो नॉर्मली.
Pooja, say.
वैसे उसने बहुत ही बोला तो था सॉरी, इट वाज नॉट जेन्युइन बट ही ट्राइड, बट इट वाज नॉट जेन्युइन, आई एग्री, देयर शुड हैव
Yeah,
बीन
I don't see that effort
it should
in
have
the
focused
concept.
on that. Yeah.
So
There
in
was
my mind,
this
हाँ
very
बोल.
नहीं, go on, go on.
No,
I'll
no, no,
come back.
you've not spoken. So say.
ये थोड़ा साइडलाइन हो रहा है फैमिली के कैरेक्टर की तरफ, जो इसका पापा, आयुष्मान का पापा, ठीक है. There was this one, and I observed it throughout the movie. Even when I saw it the second time, every time he would bring up his Muslim love interest,
Oh God, yes.
you notice the background music change.
Yeah.
Every time it would become Arabic.
What?
Every time.
I didn't notice this.
Yes, I
Yes.
noticed, and it become
Yes.
every time, every single time. Please don't go back and watch it, but it does. I checked.
I think they're trying to draw a correlation there.
It's
I think they're
एक
trying to
बार
draw.
क्या दो बार क्या शुरू से
No.
last तक. It's not a 70s movie where you need to like actually bring this out. कि
Yeah,
एकदम
but they could have very well played a very nice role where if the person is that liberal that at that age he's finding an interfaith love, I don't think the father was a conflict at all, because father को वो शायद ये explanation एक बार बैठ के भी दे सकता था talking, but the two sisters could have really messed up his life, and how, which didn't which didn't appear, so like there were no clear antagonists in the movie, which
True.
I think they could have they had elements. They never had a story is what I felt. They had
I
elements,
genuinely
they had a very nice log line, they had
feel
a very nice premise.
I
Okay,
genuinely
Tarun.
feel अगर क्या बोलते हैं अगर आयुष्मान ने उससे शादी कर ली तो knowing the way the sisters behave 100% वो उसकी जिंदगी हराम कर देते. ऐसा मुझे लगता है कि शादी के बाद तो उन्होंने उसका जीना हराम कर ही देना था. They would have taunted her every second day और उसको गंदे से गंदा कुछ बोलते रहते या उस पर कोई जोक मारते unknowingly. But I feel the sisters would have made her life hell.
Yeah.
Okay, Tarun Kaushik has a question.
I have a moral question. Would it have been okay if Manu accepts Manvi but doesn't let the world know that she is transgender?
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Actually, yeah, somebody just put. I was reading about the same thing. They could have very well gone with this fact that वो accept कर ले और वो आगे, which is what I think subtly पूरी film based थी कि चुपचाप इसको मान जाओ और आगे बढ़ो because she's hot, she's now a woman, let's move ahead. It was never
True.
talking about the representation that people are talking about. Actually, they should have gone deep with the fact that chuck everything else, it's more about accepting me as a trans woman, and then that you have a life at the second life ka chance,
हाँ.
and it should have happened वैसे.
No,
And
I
I think
don't
it's a
think it
very
would have been okay. So yeah, going actually, it would not have been okay if Manu accepted Manvi and didn't let the world know that she's a transgender. I think everybody in his family at least should have known.
Family तो would have known.
Yeah,
family would have known, but sorry, go on.
yeah,
No,
please,
go on, Pooja.
go on.
But the other angle to it is in the movie she was outed without her consent.
yes.
She was outed,
Yes. Yes.
just as a rash decision, and it was videographed and just circulated everywhere. So
Yeah.
that's a really traumatizing
She
experience
was
to
shown
go
as a
through.
victim throughout. That's the problem.
And
Like
yet, film
she
में
wasn't the victim. The victim was Ayushman here. He couldn't
yes,
understand.
वही फिल्म में सारा का सारा जो फोकस है वो आयुष्मान पे कर दिया. विक्टिम वो लड़की है. सारा लोग गाली उसको दे रहे हैं, लोग बुरा भला उसको कह रहे हैं, लोग ट्रॉमेटाइज उसको कर रहे हैं, लोग परेशान उसको कर रहे हैं, जुम्बा क्लास हो जैसा भी हो. बट नहीं, द ऑडियंस इज फीलिंग ग्रेट अबाउट आयुष्मान एक्सेप्टिंग दैट गर्ल.
Okay. Ishita
Similar
Pandey is
like
similar like
Lavender.
Badhai Ho, Lavender Marriage. Explain this to me. I've not seen the movie.
I haven't
okay,
seen
बधाई
Badhai.
हो, not बधाई हो, बधाई दो, the Rajkumar Rao and Bhumi Pednekar film. Okay, so it's about a lavender marriage where Rajkumar is gay and Bhumi Pednekar is a lesbian, and they both agree to marry so that they can hide this from their families. They both have their lovers and they just marry. It's a marriage of arrangement basically.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the subject of the film, and
But we
people
need
are
to watch the film to know that how it is handled, right?
हाँ.
yeah, we
None
need to
of us
watch
have watched
that.
it.
हमने अभी तक देखी नहीं. Should we watch all of it together, like all of us together? चल के देखें?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Chal, let's go.
चल कहाँ पे? सिटी
अभी
मॉल
भी
पे
है
लगी हुई है.
थिएटर.
हाँ
अभी भी है थिएटर उसमें.
हाँ थिएटर में है, सिटी मॉल पे है. मेरे घर के
And
बगल में ही है।
we make a plan if we are all free over the weekend sometime.
चलो ठीक है, great.
But tell
So,
me, there is one question that I wanted to ask about this film, Chandigarh especially.
Hmm.
You know, when you it was more about that people are praising it for the fact that uh, it was a representation and at least ये problems बाहर आ रही है and stuff like that. ये problem को बाहर आके लोगों को दिखाना mass में is a very good effort. But कैसे
true.
दिखाना is also very crucial because in our I don't know how they do it, but a lot of times the jokes are also caught on, and the jokes that are not circulating in their library, they start floating around for people like them, like
I
for
agree.
they catch on to this, you know. Tomorrow, for example, just a blatant example, tomorrow if किसी ने बोला भी नहीं होगा छक्का या whatever, but trans women में जाके उनको लगेगा अरे this is lighter way, this is fun way to do this. It's not, like Sankalp said, it's absolutely disturbing for a person to hear that word, you know, for a person like that to her, because she's hearing the trolling everywhere.
No, I get that, but
मुझे
what I
लगता
do
है, हाँ,
what I do like is they take it a premise which is very interesting. That this guy from Chandigarh who has no clue, not woke at all, meets a girl who's a trans woman. Okay, now it's a very interesting premise, and see, we were shocked that he was so okay with it after reading on the internet for 10 minutes. If he straight up jumped to not calling her a name, see, they've taken his
yes,
mindset clearly. Whether it's right or wrong for the movie is a different matter. His mindset is clear. A guy in that scenario who has just been told that he doesn't understand what trans is. In his mind, he slept with a guy. Okay, in his mind, I understand how these questions and these things are arising for that guy in Chandigarh.
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
I feel this movie could have been a serious film. Once the main issue has come out, they shouldn't have relied on jokes for the film to run.
yeah.
I think they should
They
have
should have shifted it from Vani's POV. Yeah.
मोर देन वन पीओवी. आई थिंक फिल्म उसके बाद सीरियस हो जानी चाहिए थी, मुझे ऐसा लगता है. उसके
हाँ,
बाद वो फालतू जोक्स का कोई स्कोप नहीं था, क्योंकि या तो तुम जोक बहुत अच्छा मारो, ठीक है, तो फिल्म में जोक डालो. उसका फिल्म का एक जोक याद नहीं है. आप आपने अगर पूरी फिल्म चंडीगढ़ करे आशिकी देखी है, तो आपको एक जोक अगर मैं पूछूं आपका कौन सा पसंद आया, आपके पास कोई जवाब नहीं होगा, ठीक है, बिकॉज आपको कोई जोक याद ही नहीं होगा. आपको सिर्फ फिल्म का प्रेमाइज थोड़ा बहुत याद है, ग्लिम्पसेस याद होंगे, फ्लैशेस याद होंगे. इट्स नॉट अ काइंड ऑफ मूवी जो आपको पूरी तरह से याद होगी. लाइक
Yeah,
सेक्रेड गेम इज वन थिंग जिस पे हम सारे डिबेट कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज वी all of us have seen it very sharply. अपने अपने
yes.
नजरिए से देखा हमने उसको बहुत clearly, and we can actually debate on it, but we can't debate on Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui because we all find it stupid. Sorry, the way the word chakka was not used wrongly, the place it was used wrongly was in Nayak, where Johnny Lever
explain this to me. What is
Tarun is
this?
killing it.
No, what is this?
okay yaar, sorry,
Tarun is
I find Johnny Lever extremely funny in Nayak, so sorry yaar.
I don't know. I've not seen the movie. Give me context.
So
this
नायक
is
में नायक में जॉनी लीवर हैज दिस वीकनेस दैट अगर कोई उसको छूता है ना, तो ही इट टिकल्स हिम अ लॉट एंड ही सेज चल बे छक्के. So yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Bolo.
Now, when we or a lot of people have asked this, that why are trans people not in trans roles? Now, the
yeah,
question that I have, or a counter question that I have, is that in this movie, the trans person at the signal is played by the same person who also played the role in Tamasha.
I didn't know this.
Okay.
Yes, at the traffic signal, it is the
Pooja is a huge
same
fan of
trans
Tamasha, by
person.
the way.
Yeah, huge fan, huge fan.
Yeah.
और मैंने जाके क्रॉस चेक भी किया, it is the same person.
Okay.
And Tamasha came
Right.
quite, like, what, at least 7 years ago,
few years
if
back.
not. So do we have enough trans people to actually play those roles in the industry?
Of course, we have. Patal Lok mein they casted exactly the person who was there. They, you know, it is all about finding a good the person who
Casting
played.
director.
Casting directors are now taking that punt. They're doing casting of people who can actually be placed. But the question would be, people are asking for a representation कि trans woman को ही करना चाहिए था वो character. The question is, if trans women करते, will this film would have been widely accepted and not trolled? That is the
हाँ.
thing. Because I
I
think
think
it would have been trolled immensely. It would have been a meme capital which उसकी तरह से ज्यादा वो मतलब वो ज्यादा ट्रांस उधर चला जाता rather than she being a whatever person, and I think वो इसलिए भी है कि इसमें effort भी वही डाला है कि to normalize the thing कि
I like how
I
your
think
bent of mind has totally changed once you become a creative director. Like you always think from that meme point and viral perspective.
बट दे डू हम लोग पहली चीज यही करते हैं ना संकल्प मीम पहले बनाता है अभी भी वर्ल्ड वॉर 3 में मीम्स आ गए ना वहां लोग मर रहे हो कोई सोच रहा थोड़ी है
कोई सोच रहे हैं आप फैंटास्टिक एक्चुअली मीम पहले बनता है यहाँ पर
या
because once your subject or once your content is in the meme zone you've hit it out of the park then you
That's
are there like आपका subject आ गया lol I meant it was more derogatory in Nayak yes I know you
of
might
course I agree we agree Tarun
yeah we
justice
agree
to Tarun
it's
agree
just
we agree with everything you have said
okay.
बस
Now,
game sorry
except for sacred games yeah
except for second game
Sacred Games will come back to. Okay. I just feel one thing. I like the way that the movie brought a question into the masses. Okay, because no one, a lot of the masses is what this guy was playing, and at least thanks to this movie, they will ask the question: what is a
yeah
trans girl? What is the surgery? And I do like that. I do not find it blending with a love story. I felt that those were just two different opposites which are brought together in the movie: an issue and a love
yeah
story. But all in all, it's an effort. It is a first step.
but
no
then the first step is very crucial I agree it's a first step but then if you remember Fire how many of you have seen Fire Deepa Mehta's Fire Shabana Azmi and Nandita Das so basically they are two bored housewives and they're both neglected by their husbands and what happens is akele mein because they are lonely they sort of have the scene going on the side and I don't think they've actually become lesbians they are straight
yeah
women but it's just that their loneliness overpowers them too much they both are in the same scenario दोनों एक ही घर में रहती हैं दोनों हस्बैंड से नेग्लेक्टेड हैं एंड अचानक से दे फाइंड लव इन ईच अदर ठीक है एंड इट्स अ वेरी अनकंफर्टेबल फिल्म और अगर पहली और वो इस तरह की पहली फिल्म है मेरे हिसाब से जो बनी थी इस सब्जेक्ट पे मुझे नहीं याद फायर से पहले कोई बनी है क्या सेम सेक्स
हाँ
रिलेशनशिप
हाँ I
हिंदी
think
सिनेमा but whatever so fire was a very major massy film massy in the sense done by some mainstream actors like Shabana Azmi Nandita Das Javed Jafri Kulbhushan Kharbanda सारे mainstream actors को साथ लाके आपने बनाया है तो बनाओ तो कुछ ऐसा बनाओ जो सवाल निकाले एंड लोगों का दिमाग
That's
खोले
true.
सो
सही जगह
आप
पर हाँ
अगर अनकंफर्टेबल सब्जेक्ट निकाल के उसकी मौकरी बना दोगे देन आपने कोई हेल्प नहीं की सॉरी ऐसा मुझे लगता है तो
yeah
आपने आपने सिर्फ एक ऑर्डिनरी एक फिल्म बना दी उसमें लेकिन कुछ निकाल के नहीं लाए
I'm just going to read
right
this
joke
comment. We are missing
He's being
movies like Lakshmi and gems like Farhad Samji.
he's being
Please
sarcastic.
that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering. Okay, I'm amazed to see his name every time in big. Okay, Lakshmi so was our dude who Akshay was.
Okay, so Farhad Samji are like the biggest mainstream directors this time
yeah
at
yeah
the moment because
even Bachchan Pandey is theirs ना
हाँ बच्चन
Bachchan
पांडे उन्हीं
Pandey
की फिल्म में भाई वो डायरेक्टर बन गए हैं
हाँ I know
यस मूवी नेम गर्लफ्रेंड अमृता अरोड़ा ईशा कोप्पिकर ओ शिट
But
We've
I
seen
think
this
yeah,
also.
yeah.
came before
दैट
for
वाज अ बी
sure.
ग्रेड फिल्म लाइक बहुत बुरी बी ग्रेड
You
फिल्म
know,
थी करण
there were subtle, so many subtle things about of since we're talking about girlfriend and lesbian track, which was on Dead Ishqiya also, which never was called out, but so nuanced.
Dead
How
डेट
many
Ishqiya
of
में
them
है?
picked?
अच्छा हाँ. Yes,
It's
that's true.
Madhuri and
like the
Uma.
sequel to Iskiya. If you've seen Iskiya, I mean, you should
No,
watch
I've
Dead
seen it.
Iskiya
I
because
have seen it. I just was remembering. Okay, now I got it. Yes.
yeah, so that's fantastic. मुझे वो फिल्म बहुत अच्छी लगती है. That
The
shows it in a
movie
very
Uh,
itself
simple
was
way.
so good. Yeah, the movie
Yeah,
itself
yeah,
was
yeah.
so good.
yeah,
Everything about that movie is fantastic. And Nasiruddin Shah and Arshad Warsi, they are like what a pair, man. What a pair.
What a
yeah,
pair. What a pair. No, that movie works. But
That
I
movie
guess
works.
there is one scene in Chandigarh in which, well, Ayushman has told them that, she's a trans girl. And those two twins are like, chal tu homo shomo try kar le or something like that, okay? And they're getting him on grinder. I didn't know what to make of that. That was just very odd.
I think that just shows ignorance in
I
general.
guess. I guess.
yeah.
It's very in
True.
your face ignorance, but I say average Indian. So.
I learned about trans women through anime called Kochi Kame when I was 8 or 9 years old. Okay.
Nice.
But it is
So
that
I'm
that be
probably
Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Because
I'm
it's
sure.
more a part of their cultures have accepted a long time back. But there's Thailand. In Thailand, you actually get to choose your gender as a child.
And they
Yeah,
know how
yeah.
to make it there. Seriously.
And
Once they
plus,
pick,
general sex education and all of that is way early. They start way early. Now
No,
that's
the
what
about
age is
happens.
like
gender.
between.
With
Gender is
Hollywood,
not.
or other cinema, that's what happens. They pick up a subject and they really like make something out of it. They don't waste an opportunity. Like Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui is an opportunity gone waste.
That's
ठीक
true.
है, किसी को याद नहीं रहेगा वो फिल्म. It's not the kind of film जो लोग याद रखेंगे. हम लोगों ने जिंदा रखा है उस फिल्म को. पब्लिक ने.
But tell me one thing. Why has it got such good reviews? Like everyone has gone and praised the hell out of it. That
Because
I've
I
not
think
understood.
people really appreciate the effort, like you said, na Kajal. I think somebody slotting a film and making a film, producers money going into a film of such a subject is also a very one step positive step forward rather than not having the subject representation at all. I think that
Point.
is what is very crucial, and which is why I think which is
Agreed.
very fair. It's appreciate the fact that a very mainstream big star is also doing these films and they're making money. Most importantly, I think that's why they get repeated.
Yeah, Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui
Otherwise,
made.
they would.
But is it time for Ayushman to stop doing every movie on an issue?
No, no, we still have a lot to go.
बहुत सारे हैं. आयुष्मान अभी ऐसे 50 स्क्रिप्ट के ढेर पे सो रहा होगा कि कौन सी
हाँ.
उठाऊं.
But isn't that
नार्कोलेप्सी पे बनाओ जिसमें 15 मिनट में इंसान सो जाए.
हाँ, ये
see
भी एक
about
प्रॉब्लम.
this template form of movies for Ayushmann Khurrana.
या,
He also knows it because the entire campaign
एब्सोल्युटली.
for this movie was इस बार problem क्या है.
हाँ, इस बार प्रॉब्लम क्या है.
Yeah, so उनको भी पता है कि ये चल रही है तो जब तक
You don't have
चलाना है
many Bollywood
चला दे.
films as well that deal with this subject. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not this subject particularly. I'm saying if they pick up a subject, they definitely hit the nail on the head. Like if you remember Philadelphia, if you
Yeah,
remember Brokeback Mountain,
Brokeback
these
Mountain.
are films that have sort of earned a lot of critical acclaim. So
Plus,
once they
also
pick,
I all
don't belittle the subject. That's what I'm saying.
also
that's
also
true?
they start with this. They take a subject where some sort of थोड़ा ज्ञान audience को already पता है. The acceptance level and the education level is already some sort of thing is already there. So they start from there and they make their films more nuanced. अपने में तो starting में introduction में ही रखना पड़ता है. Like imagine at 2022 we are starting with a very intro topic of a trans woman, which is
Like if you remember,
already very late.
like if you remember Titli picked up pedophilia.
Yeah,
And it picked it up in a very very disturbing manner. Like there are
disturbing
three
way.
brothers who live in the house, and हर रात को जो मंझला भाई है, जो मिडिल ब्रदर है, वो हमेशा एक बच्चे को लेके जाता है कोने में, और फिर थोड़ी देर बाद दिखाते हैं कि वो रो रहा है, और वो रो इसलिए रहा है बिकॉज उसने उस बच्चे को एक्सप्लॉइट किया है. बट ये आपको खुद समझना पड़ेगा. एंड दैट इज अ मच स्मार्टर एंड अ मोर डिस्टर्बिंग वे टू शो इट.
True.
सो आई फील इस तरह की चीजें जब फिल्म में आती है ना, तब एक सब्जेक्ट निकल के आता है कि आपको लगता है अच्छा हाँ, फिल्म का जो मेन टॉपिक था वो ठीक है, बट वो एक सीन जो था ना, उससे एक बड़ा स्पेक्ट्रम खुल के आता है.
Acha, I have a question. Ayushman's movie with Neena Gupta was Badhai Ho, right?
नो, दैट
Yes,
वाज
but the
बधाई
parents
हो.
get pregnant. हाँ, बधाई
हाँ,
होता ना,
Badhai.
parents get
हाँ.
ओके.
pregnant.
Okay, there's one song sequence there in which they show this gay guy acting totally like a Bollywood's worst idea of a gay guy. Okay, how
यस,
does that match up? You're showing that in one of your movies. In the next movie, you're supposed to believe that you're bringing an issue to light which you made fun of in uh,
एग्जैक्टली.
your last movie. How does that work?
But that's what they're tone
Continuity
deaf. Yeah, go ahead, Pooja.
नहीं
बोल ना.
नहीं नहीं,
मैंने कहा
मुझे शायद.
कंटिन्यूटी एरर है बस
No.
भूल जाते उन्होंने क्या किया है पहले.
बट देन अगेन, जैसा कातिल ने कहा, वो जो स्क्रिप्ट में फिट बैठेगा ना, ऑल दे थिंक इज ये चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा.
Yes.
ठीक है, तो इन द सेटिंग ऑफ बधाई हो, दे फील अच्छा गे को इस तरह दिखाएंगे तो पब्लिक को हंसी आएगी बिकॉज फिल्म का सब्जेक्ट कुछ और है.
So that means you've made fun of the entire community you're trying to bring up
Yeah,
to make the
absolutely.
audience.
So they stereotype the gay community as much as they could in Badhai Ho, but this time it doesn't serve their purpose, so they won't.
Yeah. But we have
Then I
come a
don't
long
take
way
it
from
seriously.
showing gays where there was a music. Remember? Tick, 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 yeah, yeah. You know, remember that?
Oh yeah. Fuck.
तो
No,
मैंने
but
प्यार किया ये
From
क्या
that
क्या
to
करना क्या
representing gay,
no, I get it.
because
I get. I'm not saying no for
it
that.
gets into the whole.
but
Okay.
still nobody can beat gay portrayal in when it comes to Madhur Bhandarkar films. मधुर भंडारकर जिस तरीके से गे दिखाता है वो तो मतलब अलग ही है. वो तो
Why?
उसका फैशन डिजाइनर होगा फिल्म में और वो करके बात करेगा.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Every
Okay.
film Madhur Bhandarkar's fashion designer has to be like, oh my god darling क्या पहना है तुमने. मैंने कहा यार come on, I mean अब तो चेंज कर ले अपनी फिल्म में गे.
Okay. Tarun Kaushik is very well read.
There's a Tamil film with the actor Vishal that deals with necrolepsy. Okay, please tell me the name. नाम मैं देखूंगा और किस प्लेटफॉर्म पे है ये भी बताना.
Narcolepsy. Also, Bollywood does make movies like on casteism, but they get
Kajol has been tone deaf for years, brother. Even though he is himself a homosexual, but he has been tone deaf.
Okay. We're going to wrap up the live. I'm going to come to each of you all and ask you all for your final star review and your last comment on it. Pooja, let's start with you.
3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
And just how I started it off, I'll end with the same sentence. You need familiar faces to tell unfamiliar stories. And good effort could have been better. And now I'm starting to sound like one of those critics. But good effort could have been better. But at the same time, I'm just like, कि अब ठीक है इतना ही मिल रहा है तो ले लेते हैं इसी से शायद कोई
Okay.
और आके better बना देगा.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's that.
Suresh
Okay.
Menon partner was totally.
I would give 2 purely for the. In fact, मेरे को 1 देना था पर बहुत गालियां पड़ती. But 2 only purely for the fact that such subjects should enter and take a space in Bollywood, so that other random kachra cannot be filled in. At least I think it takes it's a placeholder, and such placeholders are important. However, maybe they will learn the nuances later.
Okay. Okay. Sankalp?
2 and 2 only because okay they picked up the subject as Parth said they picked up a daring subject, but then if you're picking up a daring subject, don't let the opportunity go waste. I feel then you can do so much more with that. You can just open a big conversation through that one film, but of course that's not your agenda. You have to make a pot boiler. आपको सिर्फ एक फिल्म बनानी है जिसमें छिछोरे जोक्स होंगे, आयुष्मान के ऑडियंस को भी खुशी मिल जाएगी, लोगों को वानी कपूर देखने को मिल जाएगी और खत्म. पब्लिक का पैसा वसूल है. आपने बेसिकली पैसा वसूल फिल्म बनाई. That's my problem with चंडीगढ़ करे आशिकी. You should have, when you picked up such a subject, you should have delved deep into it.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to give it a 1 star, and that's just because I liked Vani Kapoor in this movie.
I love Vani.
I really liked her. I love
Vani Kapoor.
What I hated about the movie was A, Ayushmann Khurrana's hair, and B, Ayushmann entire character. And I just felt that they've used an issue to try and be woke and do a love story, and it has all become a mess.
Yeah.
Yes. You tried to be woke, but you weren't. You slept
Okay.
throughout the film.
Now
Guys,
it's time
we
to
will be
watch the Sacred Game scene.
Okay, so guys, we're going to be coming back with another review next week, hopefully, with all our schedules coming together. I would like if you could all go and watch Badhai Do in the theater together and do a review.
Yes.
Let's see if that's possible. Otherwise, we're definitely coming back with the Sacred Games review because that story now. I'm gonna write to Varun Grover also. I'm gonna get his point of view on this as well. Okay, we
Yes, of
have
course.
resources. So
I just want to reply to Seema's message. Regional
Same,
cinema
same,
picks up these subjects. There are a lot of really good regional cinema movies on
अरे वो
transgender.
सुपर डिलक्स यार, वो
Super
सुपर
deluxe, super deluxe. You need to watch. They are ahead of representing. They are almost going
इतना
into.
बड़ा सुपरस्टार है यार. विजय सेतुपति ने वो रोल किया है जो कि इतना बड़ा सुपरस्टार है. यहाँ का कोई सुपरस्टार ऐसा रोल करके दिखा दे. कोई नहीं करेगा.
So regional cinema is way ahead than Bollywood. Way ahead.
Completely.
okay. Acha, RS wants last time he saw Arya Par because we mentioned it here and he really liked it. Any movies which I want to tell him that he would really like?
Sorry?
Any movies you want to recommend for RS to watch? He wants another movie recommendation.
Okay, like Titli. I just mentioned Titli. It's on Amazon Prime. It's produced by Diwakar Banerjee, made by Kanu Behel, I guess. Director का नाम Kanu Behel है. And it's produced by Yashraj and it's a very daring subject. I mean, it's about a family of carjackers. Must watch. Titli, अगर आपने नहीं देखी तो जरूर देखिए. It can actually disturb you, but it's fantastic.
Okay. Okay. And I'm going to end on Costa Banerjee's comment. When you try to be too woke, you go broke.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, guys. It's been awesome. Thank you so much for the panel. Thank you to the audience. We're going to be back next week. See ya.
Thank you. Thanks, Kajol. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Kajol.
Kajol.
Thanks, everyone.